Have you ever tried to wake up at the same time every day and failed? You set the alarm with the best intentions, but ended up hitting snooze once, twice, 3 times? And by the time you realized it, the day had already started late, and your tiredness felt stronger than your willpower. This happens to more people than you might think, and it's not about laziness. It's about a dysregulated body that's lost its sense of when it's day and when it's night. People who live like this, bouncing from one wake-up time to another, feel the consequences in everything: weak concentration, random irritability, afternoon drowsiness, and of course, insomnia at night. Because when you stop waking up at the same time every day, your body loses its foundation. It stops knowing when to keep you alert and when to release rest. Waking up at the same time daily isn't a rigid rule, it's a way to teach your body to function with more balance. And here's what's interesting: this one simple decision, waking up at the same time, might be exactly what saves your sleep. Because it's in the morning that your body begins to build the pressure to sleep. It's the morning light, the body's movement, and the pace of the first few hours that will influence how you fall asleep later. If your nights feel out of sync, maybe the answer lies in how you start your day. And that's exactly what we're going to explore together from now on. Waking up at the same time every day might sound simple, but it takes more than willpower. It takes strategy, repetition, and a dose of patience. Your body doesn't adjust overnight. It needs clear signals, sent day after day, until the new rhythm becomes automatic. And once that happens, your sleep starts to organize naturally. You begin to feel sleepy at the right time and wake up more easily, even without depending on an alarm clock. Many people try to fix their insomnia by focusing only on the night. They change their pillow, drink herbal teas, avoid screens. That can all help, but if you're still waking up at different times every day, your body won't regulate itself. It's during the morning that the main sleep and wake hormones get organized. And that's when you give your system the reference it's been missing. When that foundation is strong, everything else begins to fall into place. The biggest issue is that when you're tired, waking up at the right time feels like punishment. You want to give yourself more time, sleep a little longer, make up for lost sleep. But this attempt at compensation only adds to the problem. What seems like rest just adds confusion. Your body stops building natural sleep pressure, and the insomnia continues, night after night. The cycle only breaks when you create a new morning routine. That doesn't mean waking up with energy and a smile right away. In the beginning, it's going to be hard. Your body will resist, try to convince you to stay in bed. But over time, it learns. And that learning transforms your relationship with sleep. You start sleeping better not because you tried to sleep more, but because you finally taught your body to follow a rhythm. And the first step is understanding why your wake-up time matters so much. What happens to your body when you wake up at a different time every day? When you wake up at a different time each day, your body loses the ability to anticipate what's coming. It no longer knows when to keep you alert, when to start slowing down, or the right time to release key hormones for sleep and energy. This kind of instability creates biological confusion, and that confusion leads to insomnia, daytime fatigue, and difficulty reaching deep sleep at night. Your brain needs predictability to function well. When it doesn't know what to expect from your day, it activates defense mechanisms, increases stress hormones, and keeps you alert, even when all you want is to rest. This could explain why some people feel exhausted even after sleeping for many hours. The body sleeps, but it doesn't reach the quality of rest it needs, simply because the wake-up rhythm is inconsistent. And waking up late or sleeping in on weekends creates something called social jet lag, a kind of internal misalignment similar to what you'd feel when crossing time zones. This constant delay forces your body to keep adapting, and it never truly stabilizes. That's why waking up at the same time, even on Saturdays and Sundays, is one of the most important habits to rebuild a healthy sleep pattern. And that whole rhythm begins in the morning, with the help of a powerful factor many people overlook: light. How the circadian rhythm is regulated by morning, not night. Most people think sleep depends only on what happens at night. But in reality, what you do right after waking up has a direct impact on how you'll sleep later. The circadian rhythm, that internal cycle that sets your biological clock, is mainly regulated by the start of your day. And the strongest signal for that clock is the light you're exposed to in the morning. When you expose yourself to natural light shortly after waking up, it activates a chain of responses in the brain that reinforces your state of alertness. Your body realizes it's daytime, stops producing melatonin, increases cortisol levels, and gets you ready to face the day with more energy. This alignment between light and your internal clock determines the ideal bedtime later on. If you wake up late and miss morning sunlight, this whole process is delayed, and so is your nighttime sleep. Besides light, early movement strengthens that signal. Getting out of bed, walking around, drinking water, doing light stretches, all of that sends a clear message: the day has started. And the stronger that message is, the easier it will be for your body to understand that the cycle has restarted. This helps build sleep pressure throughout the day and makes it easier to fall asleep at night. But when this pattern gets broken by habits that sabotage your wake-up process, your system falls out of sync, and your sleep suffers. Common mistakes that sabotage a natural wake-up. One of the most common mistakes is hitting the snooze button several times before getting out of bed. It seems harmless, but this habit fragments what little sleep you still have and confuses your brain. It starts shifting between wakefulness and light sleep, unsure whether to get up or keep resting. This back and forth scrambles your nervous system and delays the true start of your day, which later affects how easily you fall asleep at night. Another frequent misstep is staying in bed in the dark, scrolling through your phone, or waiting for the desire to get up. Your body needs movement and light to exit the sleep state. When you lie still in a dark environment, you're not sending your brain the signal that the day has begun. This prolongs drowsiness and lowers your energy for the hours ahead. Your wake-up loses strength, and your system takes longer to reach full activity mode. You should also watch out for the habit of making up lost sleep on weekends by sleeping in. That practice, although it might feel like a relief in the moment, further disrupts your biological rhythm. It's like your body never knows what pace to follow. Regularity is what builds the foundation for sleep to happen naturally. And to strengthen that even more, there's a powerful ally you should use within the first few hours of your day: natural light. The role of natural light and morning sun exposure. Few people realize that exposure to natural light in the early hours of the day is one of the most effective tools for regulating sleep. Sunlight acts directly on a part of the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which functions as the pacemaker of your biological rhythm. When you see morning light, even for just a few minutes, you activate this command center and synchronize your internal clock with the outside world. That means simply opening the window, stepping onto the balcony, or taking a walk outside after waking up has a much deeper regulatory effect than it seems. Natural light blocks melatonin production, signals that the day has begun, and starts the process of wakefulness. As the hours pass, this activation gradually declines, and it's that smooth decline that prepares the body to rest when night falls. Staying in dark, enclosed spaces in the morning, on the other hand, delays this activation and disrupts the entire cycle. The body continues to act as if it's nighttime, even when the clock says 9 or 10 in the morning. And that delay in starting the cycle also affects how it ends. In other words, your sleep at night. So if you want to wake up at the same time and sleep better, prioritize natural light exposure as soon as you get up. But even with light working in your favor, one detail can make all the difference: how you use your alarm clock. Alarm clock, villain or ally? How to use it the right way. The alarm clock itself isn't the issue. What compromises its effectiveness is how you use it. When you rely on it to yank you out of sleep every day, with a jolt and discomfort, your body stays in defense mode. Waking up becomes a stressful event rather than a natural start to the day. But if the alarm is used as a support rather than a shock, it can become a helpful tool in creating consistency in your wake-up routine. The snooze button is one of the biggest villains in this story. Each time you hit it, you interrupt the beginning of the waking cycle and confuse your brain, which tries, unsuccessfully, to resume sleep. This fragments the little rest you had left, scrambles your internal signals, and leaves you groggier throughout the morning. A single, direct awakening, firm and without multiple alarms, has a stronger regulatory effect than 5 or 6 spaced-out rings. A more effective strategy is to place the alarm clock far from your bed, so you have to get up to turn it off. Just the act of getting out of bed helps initiate the movement needed to activate your body. And if right after that you expose yourself to light and start moving, the waking process solidifies. Over time, your body begins to anticipate that time, and the alarm becomes just a backup, not a necessity. And when that happens, your morning routine starts to gain more clarity and purpose. Morning routine: what to do in the first 30 minutes after waking up. The first few minutes after waking up set the tone for your day, and, indirectly, for your night as well. If you get up and dive straight into your phone, the news, or your worries, your body goes into alert mode. And that state lingers throughout the day, making it harder to relax when the evening comes. But if you start your morning in a calmer, more mindful, and stable way, your body gets the message that it's safe. And when it feels safe, it sleeps better later. In the first 30 minutes, it's important that your body receives clear signals: movement, light, hydration, and silence. Get up without rushing, open a window, take a deep breath, drink a glass of water. All of this helps activate your internal systems gently. It's like a soft wake-up call for your body. Instead of stress, you begin the day with presence. This regulates body temperature, heart rate, and even cortisol production, which needs to be high in the morning to ensure energy throughout the day. Avoiding screens during this early window also makes a difference. The artificial light and flood of information from screens abruptly stimulate your brain and create a false sense of urgency. When you replace that with a more natural routine, maybe writing something quick, listening to soft music, or simply sitting in silence for a few minutes, your body responds with greater balance. And that response builds, over the day, a solid foundation for the sleep that will come later. But it's possible to reach this point even if you still struggle to wake up at the right time, and for that, you need to know how to adjust your routine gradually. How to gradually adjust your wake-up time without suffering. If you're used to waking up late or at irregular hours, making a sudden change can be hard, even frustrating. Your body resists, your mind complains, and the fatigue builds. That's why the best way to create a new wake-up time is to do it gently. Adjusting by 15 to 30 minutes at a time is enough to start realigning your biological clock. It's like repositioning a compass. A small shift changes your entire direction. This process takes patience. Don't expect to wake up full of energy in the first few days. Your body needs time to understand the new pattern. And even if you slept poorly the night before, it's still worth sticking to your new wake-up time. It's precisely this repetition, even on tough days, that teaches your system to adapt. Sleeping in only reinforces the misalignment and prolongs the cycle of insomnia. You can also support this adjustment by changing your environment. Leave the curtains slightly open so light enters gradually. Design a calmer morning with fewer pressures and more positive rituals. A slow cup of coffee, a warm shower, a moment of stillness. All of these help your body accept the new routine. And when the morning starts off well, the rest of the day flows better. Even when you're tired, it's possible to honor the new wake-up time, and that brings us to the next essential point. What to do when you slept poorly but need to stick to your wake-up time. Sticking to your wake-up time after a rough night can feel like punishment. Your body begs for more time in bed, and the urge to make up for lost sleep is strong. But giving in to that impulse can make things worse. Sleeping in throws off your natural cycle, delays the buildup of sleep pressure, and makes it harder, again, to fall asleep the next night. As tough as it may feel, the best move is to get up at the planned time, even when you're running on sleep debt. On days like this, the focus should be on restoring energy through other means. Conscious breaks, light meals, exposure to natural light, and gentle movement throughout the day help your body cope with the fatigue. Avoid napping, especially in the afternoon, as it directly impacts your ability to sleep well that night. It's better to go through the day more slowly but preserve your wake-up time than try to fix your sleep with off-schedule rest. You can also adapt your schedule to make things easier on days like these. Reduce commitments, avoid major decisions, and build in quiet moments. Even small adjustments make a difference. Your body picks up on that care and responds with more resilience. Over time, even bad nights have less impact, because your morning routine stays solid. And that consistency gives your body a sense of stability. A stability that begins long before you wake up. it's also built through the choices you make the night before. Waking up well starts the night before, evening habits that influence everything. It's easy to think the secret to waking up better is all about your alarm clock. But in truth, your morning begins the night before. What you do in the 2 or 3 hours before bed has a direct impact on your sleep quality, and, as a result, on how you feel when you wake up. If your body goes to bed still wired, flooded with stimulation and harsh lights, it takes longer to reach the deep stages of sleep. And even if you sleep for hours, you wake up feeling unrest. Creating a nighttime ritual is a way to signal to your body that the day is ending. Lowering the lights, avoiding screens, turning off notifications, disconnecting from the external rhythm, all of this helps your mind slow down and your body start producing melatonin more efficiently. The smoother this transition, the more naturally sleep arrives. And natural sleep makes it easier to wake up at the right time without resistance. Another important point is maintaining a fixed bedtime, even if you're not feeling sleepy right away. Going to bed at the same time each night trains your brain to prepare for rest. And even if sleep takes a while to come, simply being in bed, in the right environment, helps create that pattern. Waking up well, with energy and consistency, is the result of a cycle that repeats regularly. And when that cycle becomes solid, your body responds with greater vitality, and sleep stops being a struggle. Waking up well is more than just opening your eyes. It's a process that starts long before morning arrives. It's about how you organize yourself, how you treat your body, and the messages you send over time. When you choose to wake up at the same time every day, you're telling your body there's order. And that order helps rebuild a sleep pattern that once felt lost. Consistency is more powerful than any single technique. You can drink teas, avoid screens, and create the perfect sleep environment, but if you wake up at different times every day, your body will never understand what's happening. Predictability is what creates biological safety. It's what allows your brain to trust, shut down, and rest. And that only comes from firm decisions, repeated calmly, day after day. When you change the way you start your day, you also change the way it ends. And little by little, your body adapts. Waking up at the same time stops being an effort and becomes a natural rhythm. You notice it when you rise with more clarity, fall asleep more easily, and live with more energy. All because instead of forcing sleep, you taught your body how to be ready for it. And you? Have you been able to wake up at the same time every day, or do you still struggle to keep a routine? Tell me in the comments how this part of your day has been going. Your experience might help others going through the same challenges. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. That way, you'll get a notification whenever a new video is released, full of real, practical, and compassionate tips to improve your sleep and your quality of life. Let's move forward together, step by step, building more balanced days and more peaceful nights.